fist flying, no bounds. Podcast kings, we pound for pound. UFC thrills, stills nights get loud. Big EQB, that's how we get down.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GRP. Back here another day on a Sunday. After the watch party, you know, we had that going on last night. UFC 318 didn't disappoint. At least to me, it didn't. I felt like it was pretty good. That's what we're gonna hear to talk about today. UFC 318, and that's it. I mean, we can touch on a few of the other things, but you know, 318 has enough to talk about, and honestly, I'm pretty tired. I'm pretty tired today. I slept in a little bit, like more than usual, and as of right now, I just feel super tired, and I've really only taken in like all stuff UFC 318 all day pretty much. And since that's fresh in my head and that's the event I watched, I'm just gonna do a recap of that. And you know, I will give a big shout out to Daniel James, fighting in Karate Combat. He won his. It was a 8-man heavyweight tournament, and you know, it was a one-night tournament thing. So if you win, you keep fighting. So he won his first fight, and then he got real close to winning that second fight against Zach Palga, and he almost had him out at one point, and then he just couldn't get it done. Went the decision, and he was unfortunately eliminated, and he lost, but he did pretty well, I thought. So congrats to him on that, for making it at least, you know, past the first fight. Looked really good in that one. The second one was tough. You know, it was 2 3-minute rounds. It actually went to a third round if they're tied after the second. So yeah, it was a hard fought. It was a hard fight, like in general. So of course, Robelis de Spain, he comes out and doesn't finish it in the first round for the first fight. I was kind of surprised. So went both rounds and he won by decision, and then he comes back and starts knocking people out. I don't think he knocked out Zach in. Oh yeah, Zach Palga wound up going to the final with him, and Palga couldn't continue after one of the rounds because the doctors wouldn't let him. So I mean, yeah, he actually was doing pretty well against Spain, but Spain won. So that's your Karate Combat 55 quick update. You know, I just want to give a shout out to Daniel James, considering Andre. What's up, Andre? Yeah, man, it was a crazy one. I feel like UFC 318. That's what I'm here to talk about. And holy shit, it was a fun night of fights. I feel like, for the most part. I was genuinely shocked. Pitbull, the underdog. Ige got hyped for noise. I bet all my money on Pitbull. Oh, good for you, man. Fuck yeah, good for you. I'm glad something good came out of that, because I was a little bit like, I had zero confidence in Pitbull for whatever reason. I mean, probably just because of his last fight, how he's looked, but I just didn't have any confidence at all in him. So for him to come out and beat Ige like that, I mean, it wasn't like the most impressive shit ever, but at least he got it done, I guess. So Ige's a tough fight regardless. I was just looking at how good Pitbull is coming off a loss. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to do well against other guys in the UFC if he doesn't step it up and start fighting like he used to. But I feel like he did a pretty good job against Ige last night. And, you know, I was doubting him the whole way, and he proved me wrong. So, I mean, I guess all I can do is shut up. Shut the fuck up, because I was wrong. But that's what happens. That's fighting, man. Like, that's how it goes. There's really nothing to it. That's why I don't like betting. For me, it's just one of those things. I just don't have confidence in it. This was just a perfect matchup. Ige's a gatekeeper. Yeah, that's pretty much what he's turned into, because he's a tough guy to get past, and when you do, it's a good thing. But when you don't get past him, you know, it kind of says something about you. So, but he's a tough guy to get past, and I mean, it is what it is. Pitbull needed that win, so he got it, and Ige will be all right. He'll bounce back. It's not like he got, knocked out. 305 Chunks, what's up? Welcome back. Andre said Holland really lost though. That shocked me. Oh, dude, I know. What was Holland doing? But that's typical Holland. He does that. He either comes out and looks great, or like in his last fight, or he comes out and something happens right away and he's done for. Like it just and for D-Rod was whooping him. D-Rod, man, I was surprised. I was really surprised by D-Rod's performance, because he hasn't looked that great in his last few fights, and I just wasn't expecting him to get a win over Holland like that, because Holland just looked so good in his last fight, but he's so inconsistent. He's one of those guys. He either comes out looking great or he just looks like shit and can't do anything. Gets taken down, can't get up, stuff like that, man. Costa too, man. He looked great. Kopylov made no adjustments for that body. No, and Costa's good with those body kicks. That's the thing, is when his kicks are on, it's good. It's just a matter of what he does after that. Is he going to continue moving forward and trying to take advantage of the damage he's doing with those kicks? Is he recognizing the damage he's doing with those kicks? But I mean, I feel like Costa kind of pulled a fast one on us with the way he was acting in the press conference. And I mean, I'm sure the weight cut was difficult for him. His face looked a little sunk in, but is it just me, or did Costa start to fade badly though? He was gassed. Oh yeah, he was definitely gassed. That's his problem always. He gets gassed, and he doesn't his cardio is not great at all ever. But like I was saying, it looks like his weight cut was tough. His face looked sunk in, and he had a look to him, and it didn't look good. So, but I also feel like he was playing it up a little bit. That's why a lot of people were thinking that, it wasn't gonna be a good thing for him, or a good night for him. He's like a 2-round fighter at this point. Shit, I would say a 1.5 round, 1.75 rounds at this point. It just seems like he hits a wall and he doesn't know what to do anymore, which is crazy. But yeah, Watch Party podcast last night was fun. We finally got Patrick in here. I appreciate him for coming down. He lives in a different city. He's only like 2 hours away, but it's tough to make time, and then you got to get, I got rooms in this house, but I don't have that many rooms. So luckily we have a hotel that's pretty nearby. So I can't believe Justin jumped the Gilly. Max was done. Yeah, I don't know. Max is tough, man. I don't know that he was fully done, but I think if he didn't cover up or anything, and didn't have anything for Dustin, he probably would have been done. He did say he almost had him, so I guess maybe that's true. But yeah, I think maybe Dustin might have jumped the gun on that one. He wants it so bad, and he just wasn't able to get it. I kind of feel bad for him, but at the same time, it's kind of his downfall with that fight in a lot of people's eyes. So I understand that. But yeah, Patrick came down, so it was good, and we had a good time. Josh had some weird takes on things, but for the most part, we had a good time. Max's power looked impressive. He was hurting Dustin consistently. Yes, that's 100% true. Max at 155 now that he's like fully there and locked in with that weight. Obviously Ilya was a tough one for him, but I feel like he just keeps getting better. It's crazy. How does he keep getting better? Especially with how much damage he takes. But that's just him. It's like it like wakes him up, and he just does better. So yeah, we're gonna get into all that here in just a second. I want to make sure I shout out my sponsor, of course, Noctane smelling salts. I got the new bottle. It's gonna kick my ass right now because but I need it because I'm fucking tired. So I guess this is the best time for me to have some Noctane. And how'd you score it though? I thought it was 2-2 going into. See, I thought it was 2-2 going into the last round as well. Honestly, maybe was I thinking 2-2 or 3-1? Big Onk MMA, what's up? Can't believe I lost my Dustin pick. Oh, Tersey, I know. Tersey had it 3-1. Yeah, I can't remember. I'm getting my fights mixed up. Had a few drinks at that point in time. The wheel did not do good. The wheel did not do good at all. Honestly, I'll check on that right now too. But let me hit this Noctane real quick and get my sponsor, Noctane Smelling Salts. Got the new bottle, black pepper scent, which is weird. I know. I told him to surprise me, so it's all good. But I need this right now, so let me hit this. Oh God, there it is. Oh, woo! There you go. If you want to get woken up, this is what'll do it. Noctane Smelling Salts. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Yeah, my eyes are watering. Noctane. Go check it out. Hit that QR code. Link in the description below. I always talk about it because this is what it's good for. Yeah, smelling salts, bro. Noctane. Go check out the website. It's a cool one, and their salts are strong as shit. Is that good for waking up? Fuck yeah, that'll wake you up in the morning. It just woke me up because I was just talking about how tired I am, and yeah, I'm pretty dead after last night, and I was kind of wondering if I was gonna get through the show today. I was kind of thinking about doing it tomorrow, but I was like, nah, got to get it in today. So yeah, I needed that right now, and I feel a lot better. This shit'll wake you up, keep you alert. And it's what I use when I'm on driving out of town for work and I'm, falling asleep at the wheel because I just get that like tunnel vision and I start feeling tired. This shit'll wake you up and it'll get you going. This is the most potent bottle. It's the red cap, but the black one is the mid range potency, and then the lower potency is the white cap. So that's how they distinguish the difference. It's cool. Should I use it for my first trip to Chicago? Oh fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. That's exactly what I use it for. Long trips, driving, that's 100% what I use it for. That's why I have it. That's why I got into it, honestly. And then my buddy hooked me up with this guy that's making these here in town, and they sponsored me. So if you go to that their website on their front page, go all the way down to the bottom, it'll say proudly sponsoring Going Around's podcast. And that's why I shout them out all the time, because I also use it all the time. So thank you for the sponsorship, Noctane. And it's pretty affordable, and it's a good product. It lasts a few months if you take care of it. Don't leave it out in the heat too much, and don't leave it uncapped too much. It's better if you leave it closed up when you're not using it, and try not to leave it out in the direct sunlight. Other than that, it'll last you a while, and it's good to go. I use it at least once a day. So yeah, good stuff. But check it out if you're interested. And yeah, let's get into UFC 318. Everyone's already in here chatting it up about it, so let's go ahead and get into it. And we're gonna start with the main event, because I don't know how we can't start with the main event. But 305 Chunk says thoughts on potential Iron Man Hall of Fame Jim Miller, Cal Ripken Jr. style. Fuck, I don't know. Do I have thoughts on that? My brain is not all here today. I'm not sure what you mean. Potential Iron Man Hall of Fame. Oh, are you saying like a category for the Iron, like the Iron Man category for the Hall of Fame? Is that what you're saying? So like Cal Ripken did so many, played in so many consecutive games, beating the streak. I think that's what you're saying. So like Jim Miller would be a part of that. Yeah, I think that's a good way to get somebody into the Hall of Fame. I know a lot of people dislike like made up categories for the Hall of Fame, but I think it's good. It's good. You get to say you're a Hall of Famer. I mean, that's MMA is a whole different sport than every other sport. So why not make it unique and different and allow things like that? They're already doing fights. It's not just the fighter, but it's your fights, bro. How the hell did Dustin and Max not get fight of the night? Oh no, shit. I was looking at that earlier. So they gave Vettori and Allen fight of the night, and I'm like, well, is that because of damage and stuff? I mean, because Vettori you look at him crooked and his nose blows up. So every fucking fight of Vettori's, he gets his face blown up. I don't know. I did watch that fight, but I wasn't into that one like I was Max and Dustin. But maybe we're thinking, maybe the names is what makes it for us. Maybe what was on the line, it was the main event, the BMF title. But the BMF title means they should be putting on fight of the night performances. So why wouldn't they get it, especially after the way that it went down? But maybe because there wasn't a finish, maybe because, I don't know, but they both like kind of almost fucking finished each other. At one point or another, they both kind of almost almost got it done against each other. So either one of them could have won at any point in time throughout the night. So yeah, I don't know how they didn't get fight of the night. It's fucking weird. Like, what could be the explanation? And they kind of brought it up at the press conference with Dana, and he didn't really have much to say about it. I mean, it sounded like he was going to be taking care of Holloway and Poirier anyway, so maybe they gave it to someone else so that someone else could get the bonus money, maybe because they're getting paid enough. I don't know. Which, I mean, is cool. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate any time the fighters, but just give those other fighters a discretionary and let these guys have the fight of the night. I don't know. Maybe the discretionary bonus is bigger. Who knows? But yeah, 305. Let me know if I was thinking of that correctly with what you were saying on that potential Iron Man Hall of Fame stuff, because that was a good question. Interesting. And I feel like they should definitely have a category like that. Clark, what up, Clark? How's it going, bro? How you feeling after last night? You weren't here, but it sounded like you were still having some fun, pestering the shit out of me, but we loved it and we had fun with it. That's how it goes with Clark. We always have fun with it, and he knows I love him. He's my brother. We always got to talk shit. Yeah, it seemed like you were drunk, Clark, for sure. I would have never guessed that you were sober, but we had a good time. And yeah, we missed you in here. So Patrick might have just been drunk too, but he was already saying he wants to come back and do another one for sure. So hopefully we can get him back in here, and hopefully we'll have to get it, we'll get him back in here for like another really big fight night of some sort, a really big pay-per-view of some sort, and then you can be here for that one. Hopefully that would be dope. But anyway, yeah, so I mean, I feel like the entire card overall was pretty good. We started off with well, yeah, there's one every month, fool. Yes, next one's in August. And the next one is actually, let me take a look. It's August 16th, and that's the Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. The rest of that card isn't like crazy good, but it's decent. A lot of people thought this card wasn't good though, so yeah, I mean, maybe co-main event still needed. Yeah, they don't have a co-main. Well, here it lists Carlos Prates versus Jeff Neal, but yeah, weren't they saying last night that they didn't have a TBD for co-main? So they probably just have that listed here for now. But yeah, Dricus versus Khamzat. A lot of people are like dead set on the fact that Khamzat can beat Dricus. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like it's a toss-up. I'm tired of betting against Dricus du Plessis and then not having that work out. So I'm not betting anyway though, but I'm not sure that I'm ready to say that that Dricus will lose to Khamzat of all people, but you never know, it could happen. Anyway, I feel like this pay-per-view was pretty damn good overall. We start off with six in a row finishes, including, I mean, submissions and knockouts, TKOs. I mean, it all went down pretty fast. We can give him some pepper salts. What are you talking about? Yeah, so we had six, and then it went decision heavy. But the thing is those decisions, they were good fights. I mean, we got fight of the nights. We got bonuses out of those. Oh, du Plessis. You can't spell it. Du Usus. I know it's a tough one, man. It's hard to say and it's weird to spell, so I get it. You're not good at that, whether you're drunk or sober. But yeah, we had a bunch of decisions, and usually I would down on that, but I mean, we had some good fights come out of those, and that's really all I can say about it. So let's get into the main event. I'm gonna start there just because there's so much to talk about with it, and I figured everybody would probably be on top of it right away. So I mean, it sounds to me like everyone was kind of in agreement that they should have gotten fight of the night. That maybe Dustin messed up by jumping the Gilly when he had Max hurt, and I feel like who's keeping tabs? I feel like yeah, I feel like he definitely had a chance. He definitely had a chance to finish Max, if he wouldn't have jumped for that Gilly. I don't know. You never know with Max. He gets hurt and you don't know. Like, we've only seen him finished once against Ilia Topuria. And that was legit, obviously, 100%, no doubt in anyone's mind that he was done. So, and even then it's not like he was out cold. So it's always tough with Max. He's such a tough guy. You see the amount of damage he took. And while Dustin had damage too, I think Max shows it more because he gets cut up, he gets bloodied up. You know, as you see in these pictures, Dustin was landing shots too. He had that, he had that moment where he almost had Max out, but he didn't take advantage. He jumped the guillotine instead, and then that's what happens. So. Let's see, I'm trying to go back to see. Whatever. Anyway, so, Dustin did well in this fight. For being his retirement fight, I feel like he didn't want to go out any other way. And if that's what he wanted to do, good for him. I feel like that's what he should have been able to do, was what he wanted to do. Now, do I think that him losing sucks? Hell yeah, I think it does. Especially for his retirement fight, especially when Max is going to continue on and have chances to come back and do well against someone else. But at the same time, I'm happy for Max for getting a win back on Dustin, because Dustin's beat him twice already. So that's the one thing I can be happy about. It's like a lose-lose in a way, except we all won because of the way the fight came out, and how it went down. The fact that they put it all out there. The only thing I wish is that Dustin didn't go for the wrestling at the end of the fifth round, but he said Max put it on him and fucking hit him hard. And he said, yeah, I can't do this. And he didn't want to get knocked out in those final seconds, which is understandable. And that's what Josh seemed to have a problem with. He said he went that whole time just so they could point to the ground. And then when they finally did that, he's like, oh, he's going to go out like that. And Josh was a little drunk. So I think that's what was affecting his mood. and I was a little bit perturbed by that. I was kind of like, bro, you're killing it right now for me. You're kind of annoying me with this shit. But when Josh gets stuck on something, he continues. That's when he's a little drunk, that's when he'll annoy you with some stuff like that. And that's fine. You can have your own view on it. I just thought it was a special night for Dustin. Not everyone's going to feel like I do about it. But all of the stuff leading up to it, man, it was so tough to just fucking get through all of it. And then watching everything today, too, the aftermath. I don't know if anyone else felt that way, but it was just like you see all these reels on Instagram and these videos on TikTok of like guys talking about this will be me when at the end of Dustin fighting, and it's like showing him crying or a tear rolling down the face, and it's like, dude, for real, like I was worried I was gonna get all emotional on the podcast. I don't want to do that. But I think Josh distracted me with his horrible takes on things. Kept me from getting that way. But with Dustin, I mean, he did his thing, man, and he did it how he wanted to do it. He went out with everything he wanted to except for the win. And I just wonder, would they have retired the BMF title if he would have walked away with it? If he would have been done, walked away, would they have retired the BMF title? That's what I want to know. Because if not, then he would have had to relinquish, and then it would be up for grabs as a vacant title. Do they want to do that again? Because that's what they did when Gabriel Masvidal left. He retired and he relinquished the belt, and that's when they fought for it again. That's when Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier fought for it the first time. So I'm just wondering if that's what they were planning on doing, but who knows? Unfortunately for Dustin, he didn't get to find out because he didn't win. I do feel like it was a bit closer of a fight than it seemed, according to the scorecards and whatnot. But, you know, I don't know. Max did his thing. And that's what Max does. You know, the kicks, the striking, you know, his boxing is so crisp and clean. And when he really locks in, man, like those last 10 seconds, that's what you can say about Max Holloway. And Dana said it in the press conference too. He said, everyone wants to do this, but Max is the only one that really wants to do it. They don't really want to do it. Max is the one that really wants to do it. And unfortunately, it seems like he's correct, because anytime people decide to do that, it doesn't go down the way it does when it's a Max Holloway fight. And I feel like he needs a real title fight. Well, yeah, but the thing is now, that's the thing, Clark. Now he has to, in order to get a title fight, he's got to fight Ilia Topuria. He just lost to Ilia in the 145 division. So unfortunately, it doesn't make a lot of sense right now. And so, you know, Ilia just won the title, and his first defense is going to be against Max, he's already beaten, you know, in a lower weight class. So I don't know. They might make him wait one. Maybe have Ilia, you know, defend the title once before he goes back to Max. But you never know, because I mean, Dana was definitely talking up Max and saying that, you know, it's a possibility. But I just don't know. I just don't see them really. I don't know if I see them giving him that right away. It might make him wait a little bit. But again, Max with the pointing, you know, he did his thing. Fucking, he came in as soon as, you know, because Dustin talked about it too, how, you know, he knew that if it got to that point, that it was gonna go down that way, and he said he was down for it. And Max said he was worried Dustin was gonna point first, so he's like, man, Dustin let me do it, and I appreciate that. And so he pointed. And there's nothing like Max pointing and really getting to it. And fuck, he let it rip. And the only thing that stopped him was Dustin tying him up. And that's unfortunate, because I'm sure Max just thought that, hey, Dustin's in it to win it, and he's going to go after it too, because that's what they kind of all decided to do. But it didn't go down that way. It didn't happen. He tied him up. He wrestled him for the last few seconds, and it ended that way, which is fine. Because in the end, I didn't want to see either one of these guys get knocked out. I really didn't. If Poirier would have gone out like Justin Gaethje did, or vice versa, Max would have gone out that way, that would have been sad. But it would have made for a great ending to a fight. I mean, you think about how iconic and how fucking historic that Justin Gaethje knockout is from UFC 300 with Max doing it. It's undeniable. It's undeniable how great that is. So these are the moments we live for with Max Holloway, pointing to the ground and really getting after it. He just needs an opponent that's willing to do it and keep it going and take it through that entire time. So, and here we are. Oh, Max gets the win. I screwed that up. Damn it. Max gets the win. And you know, you see how disappointed Dustin looks. I have these pictures in the background because I went ahead too far, but you get the gist of it. Dustin's disappointed. Max gets the win. And I only brought this picture up because it just, man, it kills me looking at Dustin. Who do you want to see? Who do you want to see Max fight next? That's a tough one, because if we look at, let me bring this up real quick. I want to see the rankings in I want to see the rankings in the UFC for the lightweight division. Featherweight, lightweight. So Ilia is obviously the champ. Islam is still ranked at number 1 for, that's stupid. I could see them making the Arman fight. So it depends on who they're going to give Ilia. Because are they going to give Ilia Arman, or are they going to give him fucking, I mean, who were they talking about? He got Oliveira already. He beat him to get the vacant title. Oliveira's ranked 3rd. Arman is ranked 2nd. Gaethje's ranked 4th. And you know we're not going to see Max and Gaethje again. Not that quick. Poirier was 6. Hooker 7. Dan Hooker. How about, oh yeah, that's right. Ilia wants Patty. I forgot about that. because Patty's not even that. I was looking for that because I thought it was somebody that was ranked lower. Patty's supposed to get the next one. They faced off in the cage. That's right. But I think Max versus Dan Hooker would be a fucking insane fight. Imagine that one. Dan Hooker, the crazy motherfucker that he is, sitting in the corner while he's all busted up saying, I love this shit. It's like, come on, man. Who else would be better? But in the sense of rankings and in the sense of moving to more towards the title, yeah, I could 100% see them giving him Armin. And you know, I would love to say all the time that Max definitely has that in the bag, but you just don't know. And Armin's one of those guys that you really can't just count out. So, and that's why he's ranked number 2, but he had the weight cutting problem. So that set him back. And that's why he might not get this title fight, even though he probably should. Being ranked number 2, he's probably really ranked number 1, considering Islam moved up a weight class. So he shouldn't even be ranked in the lightweights. But, you know, we'll see coming up this week what the new rankings are. It always takes a minute. I just want to see Patty take one more fight. Yeah. Not really hyped off a Chandler win. No, because I mean, everybody beats Chandler. I hate to say it, but it's true. Everybody beats Chandler. Chandler didn't really come in impressing much. He's been losing. So yeah, I don't see it either. But the thing is he's very, very, very popular in the UK and around the world, and so is Ilya. So I see them making this as I don't want to say an influencer fight, you know what I mean? That's not what I mean, but what I'm saying is popularity wins. They know they're going to sell tickets, they're going to get butts in those seats, and that might be why they lean towards that. So I could see them giving it to Patty. And then they have the past. They have that little scuffle they had in the backstage when Patty was behind that table. Ilya comes up to him, they're talking shit. Ilya throws something at him, they go after it, you know, and they knocking tables over and shit. So there's the history there too. There's a story behind it. So I could see them giving him Patty, even though Patty right now is ranked at number 10. But if you take Islam out of there and move everybody up one, even without these rankings, oh, you're going to take Dustin out of there too. So move everybody up 2. That actually puts Patty in the top 10. Does he deserve that right now off a Chandler win? I don't know. But he's on the cusp, so it's something that I could see happening, especially with Islam not being a part of that division anymore, and now Dustin being taken out of the rankings because he's retired. So I could see Patty making his way into that top 10 now, and then that makes even more of a good reason to give him that fight against Ilya, because he's a top 10 guy. And that's kind of, it justifies it a bit, even though we may not feel like it's very legit. So I could see that happening. But going back to Dustin, man, just watching him do this, you know, I mean, I'm glad he went out with a smile on his face. I'm glad he didn't have to kind of string some words together in the middle of trying to wake up fully. I'm glad that was able to take all this in. I mean, at least it seemed like it. All of his interviews after the fight and stuff, he sounded like he was just fine. And then him and Max talking back and forth and backstage about how they didn't get the fight of the night bonus. Max was fired up. He was like, fuck this. What the fuck is Dana doing? He said it in the press conference too. Max's eyes were busted the fuck up though, man. In that press conference, he was wiping away. His eyes were leaking. It's crazy. Max gets damaged, man. But he comes out on top and he's the winner. So you can't really down on him too much. But Dustin Poirier, thank you for all the fights, all the memories. Here's to you, Dustin. Hope everything goes well post-fighting. And let's hope that we don't see him come back for some stupid shit, even though I think he's still good enough to continue fighting a little longer. When you take that time off and you come back, the level of competition has already evolved. Shit happens. Unless he comes back in 2 weeks like John Jones did, then, I mean, whatever. As for now, congrats, Dustin. That was a hell of a night. All of the stuff leading up to it, I can't speak any more highly about it all. I'm glad that the UFC really gave him a good send-off. And that's it for Dustin Poirier. The Diamond era is over. And and it's a tough one to swallow because I've followed Dustin for quite a while, since almost the beginning. I won't say the beginning because I wasn't there for all that. I didn't really know him that well until I started getting way deeper in, and then I started really learning more about him. But when he fought Connor, and stuff like that, I already knew who he was and stuff. So yeah, it's crazy to see him go into this, but it was a good night for him and everyone else. Even though he didn't get the win, he got to go out in a big way. So congrats to Dustin, and congrats to Max, man. He's such a fucking legit fighter, a legit badass. They're both legends. They're both going to be Hall of Famers without a doubt. So we'll be looking forward to seeing Dustin get inducted soon. But yeah, let's talk about the rest of the card. Now that we're about halfway through, get to the rest of it. I knew I was gonna take a minute. That's why I wanted to start off with Dustin and Max and get that out of the way. But yeah, Costa versus Kopylov. I 100% did not think, especially with the way Costa looked in the, at the weigh-ins, the way he looked at the press conference. I saw a video about, and that's what kind of put it in my head. But also, it's a legit point. I feel like Costa was playing it up a little bit. Everyone was asking like, what the hell was he doing? Shaking like crazy, not being able to stay still, being all fidgety and shit at the press conference when he was being asked questions. And I was only listening to the press conference. I wasn't actually watching it because I was driving and stuff. So I didn't get to like really pay attention visually. So, and I didn't go back to it because I had heard everything that happened. But and I saw that there was really no drama. But yeah, I saw everybody's comments about how Costa was, fidgety and fucking didn't look well. Like, was he sick? Was he on something? Everyone's accusing him of doing shit, doing drugs and shit. And I saw him get compared to Ryan Garcia when he was fucking wilding out. So, but I think Costa was just playing it up. It looked like he had a hard weight cut, and he didn't look good on the scale, but he looked good in the cage. That's for goddamn sure. Roman Kopylov having 12 fucking wins on the feet like he does, and hadn't been stopped on the feet, and still hasn't actually, because that was a decision win for Costa. But with Roman Kopylov having those fucking kind of stats in those departments, I was like, Costa's gonna get caught. I didn't see any way around it, but I mean, Kopylov was 2-1 in decisions, 0-2 by submission, and 12-0 by KO TKO. So I'm thinking Costa's gonna get caught, and while he's not like easy to finish, he's that type of guy who's gonna crumble. We saw it happen with Izzy, even though Izzy's way higher in the talent than Kopylov, but Kopylov is pretty impressive. So Costa's 11-1 by KO TKO, so similar there. I guess so. I guess maybe not as impressive for Kopylov, except it's just one of those things. We've seen what happens to Costa. So he's 1-0 by submission and now 3-3 by decision. And he was on a 2-fight losing streak to fighters like Robert Whittaker and Sean Strickland, though. So those are big name fighters. Kopylov isn't really at that level. He just has some impressive stats, and his lead up has been good. So in the end, Costa gets the win. It was impressive. Those body kicks were fucking tremendous. His kicks in general were great. He was working everything with those kicks, and that's what Costa does. He's got tree trunks for legs, and he fucking uses them in the way that they should be used. So everyone's on the hype train now. Costa's back. The old Costa Borrachina is back and no secret juice this time. So you didn't hear him talk about secret juice at all, which is funny. I mean, he's a funny guy too. That's the thing. He's entertaining, but in the cage sometimes it's not so entertaining. So I'm glad this one turned out to be a little better, and it was an impressive win by him. So speaking of impressive and surprising wins, D-Rod. Where the fuck did D-Rod come from? Daniel Rodriguez, I 100% counted him out because he just gets into these like street fight type fights. And as you can see, even his ground and pound is just wild, as in that right picture. But Kevin Holland's a little bit of the same way. And Kevin Holland is a little, hot, cold. So, but he had looked good. He'd looked good since he's been back down at welterweight, coming down from middleweight. He didn't do so well in middleweight. So I was thinking big things were going to happen here with Holland. This was a time to, little statement fight, hey, I'm fucking here. I'm doing shit. But he turned into the Kevin Holland that we've seen him turn into before. He gets a little frustrated, and then it just goes downhill. Now maybe he doesn't get finished always when that happens, but he just doesn't turn it up and doesn't do anything. Hold on, someone's blowing up my phone. Damn it. Sorry. So yeah, the what was I saying? Good God, he just keeps calling me. He's gonna have to wait because I'm already distracted. Anyway, D-Rod, he was on a 2-fight win streak. Alex Morono split decision, and then a TKO finish against Santiago Ponzinibbio. So that was a good fight for him, coming back, making it 3 in a row. Kevin Holland was also coming off a win. Was it more than one? Yeah, he was on a 2-fight win streak with 2 bonuses, Gunnar Nelson and Vicente Luque. So those were 2, a decision and then a finish. So yeah, it went a total different way than I thought. I 100% thought Holland was going to come out and do big things. And D-Rod said, no, not going to happen. Not tonight. He catches Holland, drops him once before he actually dropped him more than once. He dropped him a few times, and he couldn't finish him, but he got the decision in a big way. And that was a good fight for him. So moving on to another surprising one for me, because everyone I counted out wound up winning. So the way Pitbull looked in his first fight in the UFC, I wasn't expecting much from him here. I'm like, he's like the rest of these guys that come over from Bellator and coming over from Bellator, they especially when they're older, they just don't seem to do well, and they just can't seem to keep up, and it's just different level of competition. Maybe the lights are brighter here than they are there in the sense, and they just don't look that great. So we saw what happened with Patchy Mix. Even though he's not older, he just didn't look good, and especially when they come in from Bellator, and they didn't look good in their last few fights at Bellator. Patchy Mix didn't seem to be as explosive and crazy in his last fight at Bellator than he was when he was coming over, and neither did Pitbull. So Pitbull looked bad against Yair Rodriguez. I wasn't expecting much here against 50K Dan Ige. I mean, he has that for a reason, that nickname for a reason, and I 100% thought he was going to put on a show, but Pitbull got the best of him, and wound up getting the decision win over him. But that gives Pitbull his first win and puts Dan Ige in. Oh, that's his first loss. He had a win against Sean Woodson before that. So yeah, Dan Ige's got to put together some wins, because he's on a win-loss type streak, and that's never good. So we'll see what Ige gets next. I'm interested to see what Pitbull does next, because that's kind of one of those things that you just never know, because Ige's like a mid-range guy. Someone in the chat earlier said he was kind of a gatekeeper at this point, which makes sense. So maybe we'll see Pitbull get someone better coming up. I'm not sure, but it'll be interesting to see how he performs after that one. Moving on to Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber. This was a fun fight too. I mean, Michael Johnson looked good, man. Looked real good. He looked like the vet teaching the up and comer some tricks, and he looked confident in there, and he didn't let Zellhuber stifle him with that length and that that reach that he has. Zellhuber's still young though, man. He's like really young. And while we've seen him have those barn burners, like at the Sphere and stuff, I think that was his last fight. Yeah, against Ribovics. But I mean, he was coming off of three fights, win or loss, that all had bonuses, 2 fight of the nights and 1 performance of the night. So you're expecting big things out of Zellhuber, but he fought. He was on a 3-fight win streak, and he had fought Lando Venata, not a bad fighter, but not at the level of like Michael Johnson, kind of. Christos Gallegos, Francisco Prado, and then Esteban Ribovics. So I mean, it's not really the level of competition that, you know, Michael Johnson has fought, because he's fought the best of the fucking best. So yeah, it's a whole different type of schedule. And Zellhuber was taking a step up here with this fight. Even though Michael Johnson's 15-15, he's a vet. He understands what it means to be inside that octagon, and how to manage all of it, and how to fight a good fight. And he just seems like he's on a better path than he used to be. He said he was partying and drinking a bunch, and he kind of stopped that and started focusing again on fighting and fighting only, now that he's a bit older. So that's good for him. So we'll see what's up next for him. I mean, this was a younger guy. And while it might have seemed like we're feeding him to the young lions, he made his way through and he got the win. So we'll see what's up next for Michael Johnson. As far as Zellhuber goes, I'm sure he's going to bounce back. He'll get another opponent at a little bit of a lower level again, and he'll put on a show, I'm sure. And then we'll see where he goes from there. So moving on to Lockdog Vinicius Oliveira versus Kyler Phillips. And yeah, I was expecting a finish out of this one. Honestly, I thought for sure Oliveira was going to be getting the finish here. He's now 4-0 in the UFC, and that is Bernardo Sopaj, Ricky Simon, Said Nurmagomedov, and now Kyler Phillips. Those are some pretty good names to have beaten in the UFC for only having 4 fights. He got fight of the night and performance of the night against Sopaj, and then a fight of the night bonus against Said Nurmagomedov. So 2 out of his 4 fights getting bonuses. This one went to decision against Kyler Phillips, but it was still a good performance by him. And Kyler Phillips is now on a 2-fight losing streak. He had previously lost to Rob Font, so he's looking to get back in the win column, and we'll see who they give him next to, make it possible for that to happen. But not a bad fight overall. So that was your that was your first prelim fight. Now we're getting into the prelims, is what I'm saying. That was your last prelim fight when on the card and watching it. I'm kind of going backwards. I wanted to start at the top just to get it over with and talk about Dustin and stuff like that. So but over to the fight of the night, according to the UFC, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, they did put on a show, and it was an exciting one. It went to decision, but it wound up getting fight of the night. So Brandon Allen versus Marvin Vettori. Again, Vettori, I mean, you can just blow on him the wrong way and his nose blows up. So I mean, that's just what my experience that I've seen out of him every time. It's just he just takes that damage to the face so quickly, and it always looks so bad. His face is always bloody right here. I mean, every time. Look back at any fights, I swear. That's how it works. So it was a good fight. I mean, Vettori got his hits in as well, as you can see in these 2 pictures, but Brendan Allen did the most and was able to get the win by unanimous decision. As you can see, that nasty kick, it looks like he's slapping him with his foot. and then that big punch on the left hand side. So if you remember, these 2 guys got into it on a casino floor room in some other state during like a PFL. Was it a PFL fight or some shit? I think it was a casino, or maybe a hotel lobby. I don't remember what the fuck it was. I thought it was a casino. But yeah, after a PFL fight, these 2 got into it. So yeah, they had a little bad blood there, and looks like it's resolved now and settled, and Brendan Allen got the best of it, and he was injured, and he had a cast on his hand when on his arm when they got into that little brawl. So it was kind of crazy. I think it was Allen that had the cast. I don't know. It was funny though. And finally they got to meet in the octagon and take care of business. Brendan Allen comes out the winner, but they both won $50K because they got the fight of the night. So next up we had Nikolai Veretennikov versus Francisco Prado. And a lot of people thought we were definitely getting a finish in this fight, regardless of who it came from. But we wound up getting a split decision win for Veretennikov. And I mean, they did go back and forth. It was a close fight overall, but Veretennikov got the best of Prado in this one. I mean, I saw Prado, you know, putting some work in here and there, but like Veretennikov just had more for him, you know what I mean? It just he just looked a little more impressive, you know, landed more strikes and more damage. So as you can see in that right picture, I mean, he's really getting his head turned with that punch. Veretennikov was going after it, and you know, wound up being a split decision, so a tough fight, but he gets the win there. Next up we had the last of the finishes before we went on to all decisions. So let's see. After this fight that I'm about to talk about, Gautier versus Valentin, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 decisions in a row for the rest of the card. So we had 6 finishes in a row, and then the rest wound up being fucking decisions. And it's like, shit, that's what I was scared of when all of the prelim fights were being finished. You know, because then you're like, fuck, all the boring fights are going to happen in the main card, and that sucks, especially when you pay for that pay-per-view. But the fights were good. So for, you know, for once, it's not 100% true that a decision means it's a shitty fight. It just meant that, you know, no one could get the finish. And while we like seeing the big knockouts or the big submissions, sometimes those really good fights happen, just like Brendan Allen and Marvin Vettori got the fight of the night bonus, and they went to a unanimous decision. So that's just what happens sometimes. But Atiba Gautier versus Robert Valentin. Yeah, this one was crazy. Valentin, during the weigh-ins, him and one of his training partners or coach or some shit, friend of his, they both like take off their shirt and scream at each other and fucking lock arms and do all kinds of weird handshakes. I don't know what was going on there, but he was hyped. But Gautier came out fucking ready to go. He definitely got the best of Valentin. A minute and 10 seconds in, he landed that knee, and then he just fucking put it on him with a bunch of punches and fucking finished him. And he got a performance of the night bonus for it. So it was a damn good fight. It was a quick one, and Gautier gets the win over Valentin. Next up, we have Dulatov making his UFC debut against Adam Fugit, and comes out and gets a big win for his first fight in the UFC. He's coming out the Contender Series, where he got an elbow TKO back in October of last year. So he had the bout against Adam Fugit before. It was actually scheduled in February and it got canceled. So this was the rescheduled bout, and he gets a performance of the night bonus as well for that left hook, and then ground and pound. As you can see, Fugit was out, and that was a hell of a finish for Dulatov. He seems like a killer. If they bring him up the right way, I think he's gonna have a pretty decent career, or have the possibility of having a good one. So we'll see. Got to keep those hands going, and we'll see what happens when he gets a little bit more into his career, and see when he gets the higher level of competition. Haven't seen a whole bunch from him yet, but I think that fight, that was a good first showing for him. Moving on to Jimmy Crute versus Marcin Prachnio. And dude, Jimmy Crute, fucking those arm bars. I mean, he wasn't able to lock him in right away, but man, he was stretching and flexing that arm, and I was like, fuck, he's gonna fucking break that arm. And big ups to Prachnio for being able to stay in there and take that you know, take that fucking pain while he tried to fight out of it. But at one point, you know, just couldn't get out of it. And Jimmy Crute locks in the armbar for the submission in the first round. So these fights, all of these fights, except for the first one. So 5 out of the 6 finishes were all first round finishes as well. So I mean, Gautier was first round, Dulatov first round, Jimmy Crute submission here in the first round against Marcin Prachnio. So that's a good win for him. And then we get to Ryan Spann versus Lucas Brzeski, another submission by guillotine this time. And Ryan Spann looked pretty good. I mean, Brzeski's he's not the best fighter. At least not in the UFC right now. He just hasn't been very impressive. He's 1-6 in the UFC. This puts him on a 3-fight losing streak. The only win he's gotten is over Walter Walker, which is crazy because Walter Walker looks pretty good right now. And that was a unanimous decision win. So, you know, it wasn't even a finish. But yeah, three losses in a row for Brzeski. And it's tough, man. I don't know. But Spann wasn't coming in on a big... I think he was on a 2-fight losing streak as well. No, just one. A loss against Waldo Cortez Acosta. So... yeah, but he went from fighting in the heavyweight, what is he, heavyweight to middle to light heavy, or was it the other way around? Last weigh in 252. Okay, so he went from light heavy to heavy. Yep. So yeah, I mean, maybe he's gonna be better. I mean, he looks a little, I guess he's never really had the best physique, I guess, but I mean, his nickname's Superman. So I don't know, man. He looked all right in this fight. He gets his submission by guillotine in the first round against Brzeski, though. We'll see what happens in his next fight and who he gets next. That'll tell us a lot and see what kind of performance he has there moving up into the heavyweight division. So let's get to the second fight of the night. Bruno Ferreira versus Jackson McVeigh. Now, McVeigh, you know, he had basically 2 fights in one night canceled because his initial opponent was Cedric Dumas, and that dumbass got arrested and had a fucking ankle bracelet on and couldn't get it off in time to be able to make it to the fight. So they had to cancel that fight. And then the opponent that McVeigh wound up getting had weight, like couldn't make weight. So they had to cancel the fight completely. So this was rescheduled here finally with a good opponent in Bruno Ferreira. And unfortunately for McVeigh, in his UFC debut, he gets finished with an armbar guillotine. I read guillotine. An armbar submission in the first round by Bruno Ferreira, who just came in and was ready, man. I don't know. I guess because he was fighting an undefeated fighter, 6-0 McVeigh, coming into the UFC, making his debut, and he gets finished by Bruno Ferreira, who's now on a 2-fight win streak. And let's see, as far as, oh yeah, that was obviously he was 6-0, so that was McVeigh's first loss, first time getting finished, and first loss overall. So he has 3 wins in the submission column. So I mean, it's not like he hasn't submitted somebody himself, but yeah, Bruno Ferreira was just too good on this night. So that's all there is to it. And that brings us down to our last fight, which was actually the first fight of the night. And that was Carly Judice versus Nicole Cagliari. Man, this was a fun fight to start off the fucking prelims. Like, again, for the second night of fights in a row, second week in a row, we get the women starting off the prelims and putting on damn good shows and getting finishes. And that's badass, because this was the only women fight that was on this card, and it was a good one. It went to the 3rd round, but it was a good fight all the way through. But Judice just fucking put it on. Cagliari was inflicting damage, and then winds up landing this crazy knee to what I thought was to her head, because the way she fell to the ground, it looked like she was out cold, which was strange. But I guess she was just in shock from the shot to the liver. It kind of sort of in the liver area, but that knee hit the body and she hit the ground. and she was out and done. And then the ref jumped in, and she seemed like she wasn't very happy about that, but there was not much she could do. It looked like she was out cold. So Jadais just put on a damn good show. Takes her to 5-2 overall, and 2-1 in the UFC, and puts her on a 2-fight winning streak now. Her past 3 fights have all gotten bonuses. Fight of the night with Gabriela Fernandez, but that was a loss. That was her first fight in the UFC. And then her second fight was against Eunice Dubin. She got a performance of the night bonus there for that head kick knockout of Dubin. And now Kelly Ari gets that performance of the night bonus there. Who does Kevin Holland fight next? That's a good question, because I kind of wondered that myself. He's at welterweight now, and he's not even ranked. Oh yeah, he's at 13. So that's right, because we were talking about D-Rod not even being ranked. That's what it was. D-Rod's not ranked. Kevin Holland is. Ooh. It looks like Carlos Prates is fighting Jeff Neal next week. Jake Matthews deserve it. Jake Matthews. He looked good in his last fight. That might be a good one. But Kevin Holland, I mean, Gabriel Bonfim just beat so that wouldn't make sense. Bonfim just beat Wonder Boy, and Kevin Holland just got beat, so that probably wouldn't make sense. Yeah, Jake Matthews, that's a good take, actually. I think that might be a good one, because he's either fought everyone else. Bonfim for D-Rod, that's probably a good one, because I mean D-Rod might be ranked after this fight. The new rankings haven't come out yet, so I'd assume tomorrow, or what is it, Tuesday, that the rankings come out, I think. Maybe it's Monday, I'm not sure, I don't remember. But Bonfim versus D-Rod, that'd be a good one. Might not be good for D-Rod though. I don't know that he can hang with Bonfim. I mean, he looked good against Wonder Boy, even though Wonder Boy's a bit older. I get it, but so is D-Rod. But D-Rod doesn't have the explosiveness that Wonder Boy has, or the speed. He's kind of sloppy. So Bonfim is a little more tactical and technical. So it might not be a good fight for him, but that might be a good matchup. So yeah, Judai's impressive in the first fight of the night. And that wraps it up, man. That does it for UFC 318. Basically, I just wanted to go over 318 for right now because it just happened and it was fresh in my head. And I wanted to make sure that I got everything out there that I wanted to about Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway, and all that good stuff. So a little bit of a shorter show this time, but I'm a little tired. And yeah, it was a long night and we had fun at the watch party. So if you didn't get to watch it, you can go back and check it out if you want to. Otherwise, just make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That way you know when I'm live. I put out a lot of content last week because I had, last Sunday I did a show, the recap from the night before. Tuesday I put out my fighter interview for Daniel James, which big ups to Daniel James for at least winning his first fight in the tournament at Karate Combat. We'll see what he does next. He had a good night of fighting there. But yeah, I put out the interview with Daniel James on Tuesday. I did the regular show on Thursday, had the Watch Party podcast last night, and then tonight I got this one. So we did a decent amount of content last week. It's easier when I have interviews and watch parties. That adds a lot. Otherwise, I'm doing at least 2 shows a week. So hit subscribe, hit that notification bell so you always know when I'm putting something out there. And yeah, tell a friend. Send me over some more subscribers, some more viewers. I'd appreciate that. Hit that like button. Make sure you like it because that helps the algorithm. Drop a comment down below if you're watching this after the live. And make sure you come back on Thursday for the preview of the UFC Fight Night happening next week, which is, is next week the 26th? It sure the fuck is. Thank God. Okay, so next week, Robert Whittaker versus RDR. That'll be a fun one. That's your main event for that card. And I believe this one is happening in Abu Dhabi or somewhere overseas because the main card starts at 12 p.m. Arizona time. So that's a daytime card. we'll see what's happening. Maybe I jump on and fucking go live and I don't know, do a watch party for the main card. We'll see. I don't know. I'm just coming up with that myself right now. Well, we got Movsar Evloev versus Aaron Pico, but I heard something about Evloev possibly being injured or pulling out of that fight, so I'm not sure. Piotr Jan versus Marcus McGee, that's a good one. Shara Bullet versus Marc-Andre Barrio, that's a damn good fight. Asu Amabayev versus Ramzanbek Tamirov, that'd be a good fight. Nikita Krylov versus Bogdan Guskov. So yeah, that's definitely. Bryce Mitchell's fighting Said Nurmagomedov. Holy shit. Yeah, Amanda Hebas versus Tabitha Ricci, bangers, looks wise and fight wise. So yeah, some good fights on that card. So I'll be previewing that on Thursday. So come back on Thursday. Appreciate everybody in the chat for always supporting and coming back and interacting with me. I love the interaction. I love talking to you guys. So keep it up, keep it going. I'll see you on Thursday. That's it for me. I'm out of here. Peace.